Hi there, y'all. It's JoJo. And this video is actually going to be a little bit of a short one because this one wasn't exactly planned. I found something that really shocked me. It was something that I ended up catching that I am really kicking myself in the ass now for not catching sooner. It is in regards to the Haro case. I think the judge was doing a lot more than just making a rather poor judgment. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on in. Hi, y'all, and welcome back. And if this is your first time here, well, welcome aboard. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and make sure that you end up turning your bell notifications to all. That way then you don't miss any of my upcoming videos as I put them out. And if you wouldn't mind, please like this video. And if you feel that it's shareable, please share it with everyone you know. And leave me a comment down there. I do read all my comments. So let's get started. The content you are about to watch contains the subject matter of a real-life true crime event. Therefore, it is not suitable for all ages and is only intended for adults. I was in the process of editing another video that I am working on right now, which is a rather long one. While I was in the process of editing that video, I found something that really shocked me. It actually goes back all the way to Carolina's case. You remember that precious little 10-week-old baby girl that Jake almost ended up unaliving? Yeah, that precious little baby girl. It goes back to the actual hearing, and I have a copy of the transcript. I ended up making 2 videos on the reading of the transcript because while I was reading the transcript, whenever there was something in question as to what it meant, I would take the time and find out what that meant, and then I would include it in the video in case any of y'all had any question on what the meaning was of it, such as the penal codes and different legal terms, things of that nature. So I'm going to go ahead and let y'all know exactly what I ended up finding and let you all be the judge. And if there's any lawyers out there, I would truly appreciate some input on this down there in the comment box. And let me know if maybe there was just something that was done behind the scenes that they did not give us access to that would make this legal. So I'm going to go ahead and point a little something out to y'all. I don't know if anybody else has ever caught this before either. I'm going to kind of take it back a little bit to the press conference that Mike Hestrin did, where he was talking about Carolina's case. Do you remember Mike Hestrin mentioned that a judge cannot make a plea deal with a defendant? If a defendant pleads to the court, essentially, that defendant is throwing himself on the mercy of the court.
Jake Haro pled straight up to the court, which sometimes reporters get this wrong, and you call it a plea bargain. Judges are not allowed to plea bargain. Defendants can plea bargain with the prosecutor, but when a defendant pleads up to the court, they plead to everything that they've been charged with, and they're essentially throwing themselves on the mercy of the court.
Now, this is the actual court transcript from that hearing, and I'm wondering if you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read this little snippet here to y'all, and then you let me know down there in the comments what you see or what you hear. The court, my understanding of the plea is that you are pleading as charged to count 1, Penal Code Section 273A, Subdivision A, child endangerment. This is a felony. The agreement is that I would sentence you today to 6 years in state prison. I will then suspend execution of that sentence, placing you on formal probation for a period of 4 years. Terms will include 180 days as a term of probation. Is that your understanding of the agreement? Defendant Haro, I understand. Okay, so now just read that snippet to you. Do y'all see an issue with that? Right there it says, the agreement is that I would sentence you. Da 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 da. Okay, to me, that is saying that the judge spoke to Haro ahead of time and they made an agreement. Are y'all seeing that too? Am I just like reading too much into this? Or do y'all see that as well? Now, I'm also going to go over here. No matter how I worded it in the search, I could not come up with any way possible that this could be legal. So this is the final one that I ended up deciding that I was going to show y'all. And what I put for the search term is California courts 2023. Can a judge discuss an agreement on sentencing with a defendant prior to plea being entered if defendant says they are willing to plead to the court as a guilty plea? And I tried putting in, can the judge do a plea agreement and everything. I mean, I tried everything. No matter what I put, it pretty much came back with the same exact answers. No. In California, a judge cannot discuss a sentencing agreement with a defendant before a plea is entered because it would violate the judge's duty of impartiality. However, a judge can discuss a plea agreement with the parties present and a defendant can plead guilty before being sentenced. Judges can also participate in negotiating plea agreements in some cases, particularly if the parties have reached an agreement. Key distinctions. Plea agreement discussion. A judge should not participate in the negotiation of a plea agreement. Plea agreements are typically negotiated between the prosecutor and defense attorney. The judge's role is to review and approve or reject the agreement, not to negotiate it. Plea and sentencing. A judge can discuss sentencing after a plea of guilty has been entered. A defendant may plead guilty and then be sentenced by the judge, who is responsible for determining the punishment. What can happen? A judge can review a plea agreement that has been reached between the prosecutor and the defendant's attorney. The agreement is typically made on the record in court. The judge can accept or reject the plea agreement. If the judge accepts the plea agreement, the defendant is then sentenced by the judge. Now, if y'all remember in this case, the prosecutor does state on record that they are not in agreement with this sentencing. They never made any kind of plea agreement with Jake in this case. So, am I just not seeing something here? Maybe y'all can help me out there, because right now, the way that I see it is this judge was completely in the wrong if this is true. And he did this before the actual plea was entered in on record, because if I'm not mistaken, this hearing was the plea being entered in on record. So if they discussed ahead of time what the sentencing was going to end up being, if Jake ended up putting in a plea of guilty to the court, then this judge was completely violating the law. Am I seeing something wrong here? Please help me out there in the comments. Or do you see the same thing that I am seeing? I would really appreciate it if there's a lawyer out there that maybe can help me out with this, because I'm scratching my head right now. So now that y'all have seen exactly what I had to show you, what are y'all's thoughts on this? Is your blood boiling as much as mine is? Did the judge not see the evidence in this case? Did he not see the medical report of what this precious little baby girl had done to her? I guess there's really nothing that we can do about it now. I don't even think that there's anything legally that can be done about this. All I know is that I want to see justice for this little girl, and I do not feel like she got justice at all. And I know I'm not the only one that feels that way, but this little girl has been failed way too much, and it breaks my heart so much to know that she was failed like this. And while we don't know truly what happened afterwards, all we know is that she was adopted out and her name was changed, that unfortunately she is going to have to spend spend the rest of her life being cared for by others because she cannot do it by herself. But hopefully at least the people that adopted her are loving people that will never, ever let anything or anyone ever harm her again. And I hope that she gets everything and anything that she wants for the rest of her life because she deserves it. She's been through way too much in just the very short time that she was at the hands of this monster. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and say thank you, everybody, for all of your continued support. No matter what it is, even if it's just a simple like or share, it still means the world to me. And do me a favor, go hug your babies extra tight tonight. And I'm going to go ahead and sign off now, and I will catch y'all on the flip side. So y'all stay safe out there, stay happy, and bye-bye now, y'all.